Talking about this one all morning long. Just a really surprise move here. The U.S. Patent Office canceling a total of 6 trademark registrations owned by the Washington Redskins. The office ruling the term Redskin is in fact disrespectful to Native Americans, and for a long time believe a very derogatory comment, to say the least. So the question remains, what does this mean for other teams in the world of sports, local ones as well, and also how will it directly affect the Washington NFL franchise? To talk about this one, we brought in sports attorney Exavier Pope to break this one down, and we know when it has to do with money, I mean, this is a franchise worth $150 million in that ballpark, so people are wondering, how's this going to impact them, and what will be the ultimate outcome as far as their merchandising is concerned?
The Redskins are actually worth close to $2 billion. It's kind of ironic that during this whole Clippers situation, they have another franchise worth $2 billion with a whole racial issue connected to it. Their name, Redskins, is worth $150 million. Well, you have the situation where the trademark protection, you basically have a presumption that you own the mark when you file for infringement. Where you have a situation now where the Redskins still can have state law protection, they still have common law case law protection, they still have some federal protections as well. So it's not going to be easy to just run out and start printing T-shirts and putting your Redskins face on the mug.
Yeah, a lot of legal stuff still need to be fought through here.
Absolutely.
I mean, some people, though, calling this one, the patents being yanked here, this is a cultural tide-turning moment. We know President Obama has also been involved, encouraging the team, Dan Snyder, to change this. Do you think ultimately, after it gets run through the courts, the team, the owner, is going to give in and change on this, get rid of this Redskins franchise name? That's
a great question, John. You've seen Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Washington Redskins, completely defiant about this.
Thumbing his nose at people.
And we have the last time that this was litigated, about 20 years ago, it was canceled, and then 7 years it took to run through the court systems, and then the Redskins to get their names back, essentially. Over the course of maybe the next 5 or 7 years, Daniel Snyder, he's going and contributing to the Native American community and have a foundation for them. So maybe he's trying to turn the tide back towards him. So, but I think it's changed. 50 senators wrote in basically saying, change the name. Tide has changed.
Yeah, well, we hope that it can change. I mean, people talk about celebrating something, but when it's a derogatory, disparaging remark, a lot of people pushing this one. There's even been, campaigns across the country. So
absolutely.
Let's talk about it here locally. There's a team celebrating, the Native American. The Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Other teams, you have the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs. You have the Cleveland Indians. Do you think this is going to have any residual effect and get people talking about maybe changing others?
Well, Braves, Chiefs, is that a disparaging term? Most people will say no. But as far as the Redskins, it's considered, even in Webster's dictionary, as a disparaging, derogatory slur. And so just change the name. I understand it's worth $150 million, and there's a lot of capital behind that. But as long as a certain segment of the community finds it offensive, then you have to change the name.
Well, it'll be interesting, as you pointed out, Dan Snyder, defiant to say the least. He's talking about the history of an 80-year franchise, et cetera, but the history of Native Americans goes way back beyond that.
Absolutely, and there are a lot of traditions that have been turned around in this country that had a long history. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't change it if it's not right.
Good point. Well, we'll keep our eye on it. Maybe the money factor will play into this one. If he starts getting pinched on that, that might do it. That often does. Exavier Pope, appreciate it, man. Always good stuff. And we toss this out to you on Facebook. A lot of people posting on this one, a lot of opinions on our Chicago Facebook page. This is from Bob. He says, I think people take things too seriously and we are way too sensitive to everything nowadays. These team names, they are ones we grew up with and come to admire, fear as opponents, respect, cheer for, or boo at. Leave things the way they are, as they say, to each their own, I guess. Christopher writes, what's next? The Blackhawks, the Chiefs, the Braves? You talked about this, Xavier. The Indians? Well, I have many Native American friends. They don't care about this. Well, we'll keep them coming in. We want to hear your thoughts, and we'll keep our eye on this story for you. We've got more Good Day Chicago coming back at you in a matter of minutes.